Most people think owning a home in the United States means signing up for a massive mortgage and decades of payments. But here's the surprising part. Even in 2026, there are still places where you can buy a house for the price of a used car. Not a tiny shed or a rundown shack, but an actual home. It sounds almost unbelievable. While much of the country struggles with six-figure home prices, some towns quietly offer houses at prices that feel like a mistake on the listing. But there's always a catch. Cheap housing usually comes with a story, and sometimes a strange one. So let's explore a few American towns where home prices are shockingly low and find out why. Down in the Rio Grande Valley near the Mexican border sits Harlingen. On paper, it sounds like a dream. Warm weather, palm trees, and a cost of living far below the national average. The median home price here is around $136,000, less than a down payment in many major cities. Rent for a three-bedroom house can even be cheaper than a studio apartment in some bigger metro areas. Life moves slowly here. You'll find plenty of local taco spots, sunny mornings, and neighbors who actually talk to each other. But affordability comes with trade-offs. Job opportunities can be limited, wages tend to be lower, and summers are brutally hot. Your air conditioner will quickly become your most trusted household appliance. Still, for people who want sunshine and affordable living, Harlingen can feel like a hidden pocket of opportunity, even in today's 2026 housing market. Once a proud steel town along the Ohio River, Weirton has a strong working-class history. Decades ago, steel mills fueled the local economy and provided stable jobs for thousands. Today, things are quieter. Homes here average around $112,000, and some sell for even less. The streets are calm, the neighborhoods feel old school, and there's a nostalgic small-town atmosphere. But the decline of the steel industry left its mark. Job growth has slowed, the population has gradually dropped, and younger people often move away for better opportunities. Weirton is peaceful, affordable, and friendly, but it's also a place where time seems to move a little slower than everywhere else. Decatur sits in the middle of Illinois farmland, surrounded by endless corn and soybean fields. It's often called the soybean capital of the world thanks to its massive agricultural processing industry. The cost of living here is about 25% lower than the national average, and the median home price is around $93,000. For many residents, life revolves around factories, agriculture, and local community traditions. But like many industrial towns, Decatur faces challenges. Crime rates can be higher in certain areas, and the local economy depends heavily on a few major employers. Still, if affordability is your top priority, it's one of the cheapest places in the Midwest to buy a home. Enid is the kind of town where people wave at strangers and recognize each other at the grocery store. With a population of about 50,000, it offers quiet neighborhoods and housing prices around $128,000. The economy here revolves around agriculture, aviation, and government jobs. Commutes are short, traffic is almost non-existent, and life moves at a comfortable pace. But entertainment options are limited. If you're someone who thrives on nightlife, trendy restaurants, or big city energy, Enid may feel a little too quiet. For others, that peaceful simplicity is exactly the appeal. Located along Saginaw Bay near Lake Huron, Bay City offers something many cheap towns don't: water views. Homes here average around $93,000, and the cost of living is well below the national average. The town has charming river walks, summer festivals, and a laid-back lakeside vibe. It's the kind of place where boating, fishing, and community events shape daily life. But the job market is modest, and Michigan winters can be harsh. Snow, wind, and freezing temperatures are a normal part of life here. Even so, Bay City's waterfront charm and affordable housing keep attracting buyers looking for something different. Not far from Harlingen, Mission is another affordable city in South Texas. Homes average around $98,000, and rent for a two-bedroom apartment can be under $750. The area has a strong blend of Texan and Mexican culture, with amazing food, colorful festivals, and warm community spirit. The biggest challenge here is the climate. Summers regularly push past 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and humidity can make the heat feel even stronger. Mosquitoes are also a constant companion. But if you love sunshine, spicy food, and relaxed living, Mission can feel like a surprisingly affordable paradise. Right on the US-Mexico border, Eagle Pass offers homes around $89,000 and a cost of living about 20% below the national average. The town blends Texan traditions with Mexican culture, creating a vibrant local identity filled with music, food, and family-centered life. Despite what national headlines sometimes suggest about border towns, many locals say Eagle Pass feels safe and peaceful. Life here moves slowly. Neighbors know each other, community events are common, and housing remains incredibly affordable, even in 2026. The biggest complaint? The heat. Flint has one of the most complicated reputations of any city on this list. It became nationally known for its water crisis and economic struggles after the decline of the auto industry. But housing prices here are almost unbelievably low. The median home price sits around $69,000, and some properties sell for far less. Crime and infrastructure issues remain real challenges. However, parts of the city are slowly changing. Artists, small businesses, and community groups are working to revitalize neighborhoods and rebuild the city's identity. Flint is not an easy place to live, but it's also a city trying to reinvent itself. Toledo sits along Lake Erie and offers a mix of industrial history and modern redevelopment. Homes here average around $115,000, and the cost of living is about 20% below the national average. The city has a nationally ranked zoo, minor league sports teams, and a growing food scene. Many neighborhoods feel friendly and community-focused. But like many Rust Belt cities, Toledo has pockets of both progress and struggle. Some areas are thriving, while others still deal with crime and economic challenges. It's a city full of contrasts, and affordable housing is one of its biggest draws. Few cities in America symbolize both struggle and resilience quite like Detroit. At one point, the Motor City powered the entire global auto industry. But factory closures and economic downturns left behind vacant neighborhoods and declining population. Today, Detroit remains one of the cheapest large cities in the country, even in 2026. The median home price is around $66,000, and in some programs, abandoned houses have even been sold for symbolic prices like $1. Though they often require heavy renovation. Despite its challenges, Detroit is also experiencing a slow revival. Downtown has seen new investment, tech startups are arriving, and artists are reshaping the city's culture. Detroit is gritty, unpredictable, and sometimes difficult. But for people willing to take a chance, it can also be full of opportunity. Affordable housing always raises the same question. Why is it so cheap? Sometimes it's because industries moved away. Sometimes it's population decline, limited job opportunities, harsh weather, or infrastructure problems. But these towns also offer something rare in modern America: space, community, and the chance to own a home without drowning in debt. For some people, that trade-off is worth it. Because in the end, cheap housing isn't just about money, it's about choosing the kind of life you want to live. And sometimes the most surprising places end up being the ones where you feel most at home.